Hey guys, it's Jay, and oh shit, that's falling, isn't it? Oh no, why do you have to do this to me, man? Okay. Okay, great. That's a great way to start off my first video. Yeah, okay. Screw it, I'm going with it. So yes, this is my first video on this channel. My first personal vlog video, whatever. I am super excited about it, and I'm just gonna hop right into it because I'm being stereotypical and starting it off with a tag video because everyone does it. Why not, right? So, why is my camera not focusing? Okay, so today I am doing the gender tag actually because I felt like that would be a perfect way to start my channel off because, you know, it's an important thing. Like, I consider gender to be fairly important to me. If it's not to you, that's fine, but for me it's kind of an important thing, so I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start off with that, and, you know, that way it's a good starting point. So I'm just gonna get right into it. Number one is, how do you self-identify your gender, and what does that definition mean to you? I identify as transgender, non-binary, and gender fluid. I use gender fluid and non-binary kind of interchangeably. For me, it's like transgender is an umbrella term for anyone who does not identify as the gender they were assigned at birth, so that definitely applies to me. Non-binary is an overarching term for anyone who does not identify 100% as male or female. And then gender fluid is, well, gender fluid. It's someone whose gender is fluid, so it's someone whose gender changes. And I feel that does apply to me because some days I feel more masculine. I feel like I want to wear, you know, t-shirts and cargo shorts or whatever. And sometimes I feel more feminine where I want to wear makeup and I want to wear, you know, pretty nail polish and heels and dresses and stuff. And sometimes I just want to be, you know, somewhere in between, and I don't want any label and I just want to wear whatever feels comfortable. So it really depends, and, you know, it really changes depending on how I'm feeling. Number two is, what pronouns honor you? So, for me personally, I am comfortable with he and him, they and them, and it. And I know that a lot of people disagree with a person referring to themselves as it. And honestly, at this point, I'm just kind of experimenting with the whole it thing. But so far, I've been actually kind of okay with it, because, like, a lot of people use the word it in a negative way. I've tried to explain to people, oh yeah, I'm transgender, and they'll refer to me as it in an attempt to hurt me. And, you know, if I am okay with that word being used to me without being offended, then that takes away that weapon from them. It stops it from being a weapon, and I really like that, and it makes me really happy that, you know, there's no way for them to win, really, then. Like, there's no way for them to go out of their way to call me it and still win, because I'm okay with being called it. And that's not to say that, you know, you have to call me it. You know, if you are uncomfortable calling a person it, and you are fully of the belief that, you know, the word it has to refer to an object, then I'm not going to make you call me that. That's actually why I try my best to be okay with multiple sets of pronouns, because then if someone isn't okay, like, they aren't comfortable referring to me more masculinely because, you know, long hair, makeup, I sometimes dress femininely, if they're not comfortable with calling me he, there's still other options. They can call me they, and if they are uncomfortable calling me he, but they're also uncomfortable with plural words in reference to one person because they and them are typically considered plural words, then they still have an option as to what else they can call me. And if they aren't okay calling me it, because they feel that that only applies to objects, they have other options still. Like, the more pronouns I'm open to, the better, because then, you know, at some point it becomes a deal where you have your set options, and if you can't choose it, like, if someone is referring to me and they can't choose between the different options I've given them more options than most people would, and if they still can't find a way to be okay with calling me any of those things that I'm okay with, then that is on them, and it's no longer on me for being unreasonable. I mean, it's never unreasonable to want your pronouns respected, but there's no way that they can even call me unreasonable with as many options as I've given them. So that's kind of how I feel about the whole pronoun thing. If at any point you're confused on what to call me, a safe bet is they, because that is gender neutral, and I will always be okay with being called they, no matter what. Even on my most feminine days, I very rarely go by she, and even if I do, I typically don't say it, because it lasts for maybe a day or two, if that, and that's the longest it lasts, so I'm really generally uncomfortable with she. So typically I'm he, they, or it, and if you are having trouble, I'm okay with any of those, but if you need a default, I would suggest they, because that's a good default, because then you aren't misgendering anyone. Question 3 is, describe the style of clothing that you most often wear. Most often, I tend to go more on the goth side, simply because or punk, I guess is a better way of describing it. I tend to like punk clothing, because in my opinion, punk has no gender, because, like, if you look at punk clothing, then everyone wears eyeliner. Almost everyone wears lipstick. The shirts are always the same. Everyone wears baggier pants, or skin tight pants, but there's no real in between, it seems. But everyone's, like, if you look at a punk girl versus a punk guy, they're gonna be wearing practically the same outfit, or, like, it would be reasonable to believe they would. So I tend to go with that, because no matter what I wear, I can feel like it's gender neutral enough, or I can feel like it's masculine if I'm feeling masculine that day, or I can feel like it's feminine if I'm feeling feminine that day. It depends on how I'm feeling, rather than these clothes are for girl days, these clothes are for guy days, these clothes are for neither days. Like, instead I can just wear my clothes and it applies no matter what. Number 4. Talk about choices with your body hair. How do you style your hair? Do you have facial hair? What do you choose to shave or choose not to shave? I don't shave at all. I am a huge advocate for you don't need to shave anything if you don't want to. It is your body and therefore your choice. I tend to style my hair either like this, or straighten it, or put it up in a ponytail, or pull it back like this, depending on what the circumstances are, or what's happening, and what I'm wearing on that day. If I'm going like full-on punk, then, you know, I will probably straighten it. Like, right now I'm kind of going for a more, like, light blue toned sort of punk-ish look, so I didn't bother straightening it because I felt that the wavy curly kind of fit with it. So, like, my hair, I usually wear it down. Occasionally, though, I'll have it, like, pulled back. I usually don't wear it in a ponytail unless I know that no one's gonna see me, because I don't feel like it looks good on me, honestly. Number 5. Talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What types of soaps and perfumes do you use, if any? So, makeup, clearly, yes, I do wear makeup. Sometimes, if I'm making a video, I am always wearing makeup. It usually, like, sometimes it'll just be foundation, concealer, and maybe a bit of contouring, if that. But, you know, other times it'll be, like, the full works, like, with the lipstick, and the eyeshadow, and the blush, and the eyeliner, and everything. But I am always at least going to be wearing concealer and foundation, and typically I'll add a little bit of contouring stuff just so that I don't look completely flat. As for nails, I will occasionally paint my nails, but I usually don't because it feels like too long-term of a thing. I consider it to be a feminine thing. That's not to say the guys can't paint their nails. They totally can. I've done it, and I identify much more masculinely than femininely, so, you know, that proves guys can wear nail polish, but I view it as a more feminine thing, and so when I'm like nail polish, I'm like, oh, that's a feminine thing that I'm then going to be signing up for quite some time, and I'm not sure I really want to do that, because, you know, just because I'm feeling particularly feminine on the day that I want to paint them doesn't mean I'm going to feel feminine the next day, and nail polish stays a while unless you actively get rid of it, which you can do. You can just put it on and then take it off the next day, but I tend to wear it long term. Like, sometimes I'll specifically put something on that'll make it last longer, so it really just depends on, like, if I genuinely think I'm going to be feeling more feminine, sometimes I will. Like, I'm planning on going to VidCon this summer, and I'm probably going to get my nails done and have them painted white with the YouTube logo on them and stuff. But, you know, typically it's only, like, if I'm going to an event or something. Like, I'm also planning on going to a concert this summer, and, you know, I'll probably do something themed for the music artist that I'm going to see. So, I will do it for events, but typically not, like, day-to-day wear. I will only do it if I have a reason to. Soaps and perfumes. Okay, so I tend to, for soap, I pretty much do whatever my mom buys me, because I still live with my mom, and she does a lot of the shopping, honestly, or my grandma, depending on who exactly goes to the store. So I believe it is from the female section, and it's, I don't know if it's actually from, like, scented, but it's not like some fruity tooty type of thing. It's like specifically for my hair, like, because I have the color in it, we have, like, color protection stuff, and that's easier to find in the girls section than the guys section, so I do buy my soap there, and I also typically, you know, do the same with body wash, simply so that we can pick it all up in the same aisle, usually, rather than going, like, a million aisles down and picking up a million different things. So I typically just do whatever my mom buys me, and I'll sometimes steal her perfume, honestly, because sometimes I just want to very quickly make it so that I smell a little bit better without, like, taking a full shower or something, so I'll sometimes wear her perfume, but I don't really buy, like, my own cologne or my own perfume or whatever, simply because, you know, it's easier to just use my mom's stuff. Her and I share a lot of the stuff that we have, like clothes, makeup, perfume, soaps, pretty much everything. Her and I just share it. We are very close in size, and so we share a lot of clothes, and that just sort of then extends into everything else, kind of. Have you experienced being misgendered? If so, how often? Every single day. Literally. And that's not even, like, an exaggeration, because I don't typically put a lot of effort into passing as masculine or gender neutral, so almost every single day, I am called she, or her, or girl, or what have you, or I'm referred to by my previous name, my birth name that I no longer use, because I have changed my name, not legally yet, though. For example, I went to the doctor's office earlier, first time seeing this doctor, and every single person there called me she. I wasn't even wearing all this makeup or anything. I put this on specifically for the video, and every single person there called me she. Even my mom, who hardly ever calls me she, because everyone around her was calling me she, so she just kind of went back into that, and so, like, the entire time I was being referred to as she, and being referred to by my dead name, and it was just like, please, stop. So, you know, I do experience it every single day, honestly, because I don't put a lot of effort into looking more masculine, because, in my opinion, masculinity and femininity is what you make it, and So for me, I don't see why this bright blue lipstick can't be for a guy. Like, blue is a boy color, right? So why not? And so I don't put a lot of effort into looking more masculine, so people see me and they assume, oh, that's a girl. And they are wrong, because I don't identify as a girl at all. But, you know, I don't usually go out of my way to correct people unless I know that they are going to be seeing me very frequently and referring to me very frequently. Like, if I'm like, oh, this is a new person that I'm going to be seeing frequently, then yes, I will correct them. But if it's not, like if it's just a trip to the doctor's office that I'm going to be seeing maybe once every few months or once a month or whatever, then I typically don't bother, simply because I'm not going to be seeing them that often. So why does it matter? I'll save my energy for when it really matters. But I very, very frequently am called she or her or miss or what have you. So yes, I definitely have, and it's not fun. 7. Do you experience dysphoria? How does that affect you? I would say that I do, typically about, like, more so with my top half than my bottom half. Like, from, like, the waist down, I'm okay. But, like, torso and up, there's a lot of things I would change, and every time I look in the mirror, I'm just like, oh, I really wish I could just magically change all of that. I have actually been working on changing a lot of it, though. For example, I have been working on, you know, losing a bit of weight, because I believe that if someone is comfortable with having a bit extra, then that's fine, but for my own personal body, I'm not really comfortable with it, so I've been, you know, dieting. I'm planning on joining a gym because I'm not comfortable with where my body currently is, and I feel like that's going to help a lot. And, you know, I've ordered a chest binder online, because one of the biggest things I have an issue with is my chest. I don't like how big it is, and I want it to be flatter. And so I've actually recently bought a custom chest binder online that's made to my measurements and everything, and I'm really excited about that, because that's going to help alleviate a lot of dysphoria, because, like, it can sometimes get very bad, the dysphoria that I do face. And some days I'm fine with it and I don't feel it at all. Other days it's just awful. So it really depends on the day, but I do definitely experience it. 8. Talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if that were an option for you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker for any children you may have? I love children, but I don't like babies. It's a very odd thing. I'm not a big fan. It's not that I dislike babies. I'm terrified of them. I'm always scared that I'm gonna mess it up if I'm near any of them. So, like, toddlers to teens, I am a huge fan, would love to raise them, and I really do want to be a dad someday. I really do. I do not want to carry them, though, because I would really prefer to adopt, honestly. Like, I really, really don't want to carry them myself. I would have a lot of issues with that personally, because, you know, I would feel like, oh, this is such a not guy thing to do. I don't like it. And, you know, it would be uncomfortable. And again, I'm not a huge fan of babies in general, so I would like to be able to just skip over that and adopt, like, a toddler and raise a toddler with a future partner of mine. Which, you know, it's something that I would have to discuss with a partner of mine, but I definitely do want kids because I love kids so much, but I would probably want to just adopt, because I feel like there's so many kids in this world who need good homes and they don't have them. And, like, why bring another one into this world who could be instead, like, you could instead give a home to someone who really truly needs it. I would really, like, feel bad having my own kid, knowing that A, there's so many people out there who can't, and B, there's so many other kids that I could be giving a good home to who are not going to have one, because I decided that I had to have some blood relation to my child, and I would really rather adopt because of that. And I would definitely like to be the primary caretaker, or primary caretaker alongside my partner, because, you know, I don't want to be raising a child alone, of course, but I definitely would enjoy taking care of a kid and raising a kid and, you know, teaching them the ways of the world and raising them to be a good person. I would really, really be happy doing that, I think. Talk about money. Oh, 9. Talk about money. Is it important to you to provide for a family financially if you choose to have one? Sort of. I feel like everyone involved in a family unit should be involved. Like, anyone who is able to and is, you know, mature enough should be involved in providing for the family. Is it important to you that you earn more than any partner you may have? No. If anything, I want to be earning less so that they can treat me like a prince. That was a joke. Don't freak out, please. I don't mean it. Do you prefer to pay for things like dates, or are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? As far as dates go, I have not been on any, so I don't know how it would be like in the actual experience, but I imagine that I am of the belief that whoever asked the other person on the date should pay. So if I say, hey, do you want to go on a date with me, I need to pay for it. If, however, you say, hey, let's go on a date, then you need to pay for it. That's how I feel about it. Like, it shouldn't be, oh, the guy does this, the girl does that. It shouldn't be that. It should be whoever invited the other person out needs to pay for it. Because when you invite someone out, you say, I want to take you to this place. Like, and if you can't afford it, then you probably shouldn't take someone somewhere that you can't afford. If you want to take someone to a fancy restaurant, then maybe downgrade a bit to a fake fancy restaurant or something, or a picnic, because those can be cheap and you don't have to worry about them being like super expensive, but you also get the aspect of it being really sweet and everything like that. If you can't afford to take someone out and pay for it, you probably shouldn't be inviting them unless you specifically say, hey, do you want to go with me even though I can't, like, if you say it, then it's okay, but you need to be very clear then about it, you know? And are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? Not at all. I mean, I enjoy paying for myself or paying for others, but if someone is like, hey, let me get it, then I won't be like, oh no, how dare you. I will say, okay, if you really want to. I mean, are you sure? Like, I'll make sure that they're genuinely okay with it and not just trying to just be nice and that they genuinely want to. Like, I'll say, are you sure about that? Like, are you sure? Because I can get it if you need me to. And then eventually I'll be like, okay, if you're sure, and then let them, because it's just a nice thing to do, and I recognize it as that. Like, they're not saying you can't afford it and I'll take it for you. I'll take the bullet for you. They're saying, hey, I want to do this nice thing for you, and I can respect that. And honestly, it makes me happy when people tell me that they, you know, want to do something nice for me. And 10, the last one, anything else you want to share about your experience with gender? In my opinion, gender is bullshit, honestly. Like, I wish that we could just completely get rid of gender as a concept. Like, just let people do what they want. I can't even get myself to fully get rid of it in my own heart, and I hate that because it's so deeply ingrained in everyone's minds that you have to have a title for it, or you have to have this or that for it, and I hate that. Like, I don't want to have a title. The only reason I have a title for it is because I like everything to be in clear boxes for myself. If someone else is like, no, I don't really want to put a title on it, so be it. I'm cool with that. But for me personally, I just like having everything be very clear cut. But I wish I didn't have to. Like, I wish it didn't need a title. I wish it could just be like, they and them is the default, and if at some point they decide that she or he or it or zer or whatever is better for them, then they can. But, like, I feel like we should just get rid of all of it, honestly, and I really wish we could. And I'm very sad that we can't, honestly, because it's so deeply ingrained in society that you can't just get rid of that, sadly. And I think that's about it. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like or comment if you want to see... Oh, wait, I can't do that if you want to see my last video. I don't have a last video yet, okay? So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Have a great day, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Bye!